Hello there, and welcome to a very special edition of the Purple Coffees podcast. I'm really happy to be joined right now by Suzanne Cohen, who is the CEO of FollowUp, a company that I came across probably 18 months or so ago now, and I immediately fell in love and I started using them on a pretty much daily basis. Basically, you can literally CC FollowUp.cc into your emails and you can set reminders. So, well, a day later or a week later or on a specific date or time, you get a follow-up reminder to say, hey, you haven't spoken to Jeff since that email you sent him last week, so you maybe should get on that right now. And I've used it so much. And I use it on a daily basis. So when it came to finding partners for the Successful Mistake, well, reaching out to FollowUp was just a no-brainer. And thankfully I've been able to connect with Suzanne, and they are one of the first chapter partners to jump on board. So Suzanne, first of all, thank you ever so much for being part of the Successful Mistake journey and, well, for joining me right now.
Thanks. Thanks so much for having us, or having me.
I'm so excited, and I'm so excited for everything that we've got planned ahead. We've got lots of things ranging from guest posts and webinars and oh my gosh, so much more, which we haven't even probably touched upon yet. The book is in its infancy after all. So I just want to talk, before we get into the book and everything, I just want to have you share a little bit more about yourself and FollowUp.cc, and
Sure.
I suppose just fill in the blanks. I gave a bit of a brief overview, but well, I'm pretty sure I didn't quite do it justice.
Oh, sure, absolutely. I'm the CEO of FollowUp.cc, and I've been with the company for about 2 years now. So the company itself has been around for 7 years. So for quite a long time, we've been poking and prodding and figuring out how to make email better. And it's obviously come a long way in the last 7 years. So we're happy to see where it's going. Um, but my background has always been in sales and in operations, and so it was really when I started learning more about FollowUp.cc and I started learning more about the team and seeing what they were doing. It just seemed like, wow, this is something that everybody should be using, and if they don't have a system for doing this, everybody needs to have a system for doing this. So as someone who knows the value of business relationships and keeping those business relationships moving and staying in touch with people and making sure that tasks and items are completed in a timely manner, and that you don't drop the ball, especially on something that really matters for your business. You have to have simple tools in place to do that, and FollowUp.cc really is a simple tool, but don't let the simplicity of it fool you. It's very powerful, and it does. I get calls from users all the time, or I'm on the phone with people all the time, and they say, it saved a deal or it saved a relationship for them. So yeah, so it's a great tool, and we're just excited to see where it's going in the future.
Oh, well, I'm excited too. And it's been, like I say, implemented into my workflow, and it has. It helps. I don't know how many deals it's saved of mine, but it's certainly helped keep my sanity. And it's just one less thing to worry about of, do I need to email Jeff today? Well, follow up will let me know if I do. And
Absolutely.
it's one of those little tools that should be in everyone's thing. We're going to talk a little bit more about how follow up as a tool and as a service can help entrepreneurs soon. But right now, I just want to talk a little bit about why you got involved with the Successful Mistake. We've obviously spoken about the book, and I've shared a load of ins and outs. So why do you feel like the book was something that you wanted to be part of a journey of? And well, I suppose what you're hoping to get out of all this.
Absolutely. So let's see, I think it was late one night and I was working, and I do get emails pretty often from people who are new to the system, or people who have been using the system, and sending me really wonderful comments, or telling me, oh, I'd love to introduce this to my audience. And I got a really nice, wonderful email with a video from you in it, and it was just a really powerful message that you had to send. And so then I started looking at more and more at what you're doing, and what you're writing about, and the people that you've interviewed, and the wonderful messages that they had, and it just seemed like a really a no-brainer. Of course, we want to be involved with someone that's trying to teach people how to do business better. We believe in that. Um, and on kind of a more personal note, like I started to think about, wow, what were some of the lessons and things that I've learned over the course of my business career. And I remembered one of the first real true lessons that I learned was, you have to follow up with people. um, and I think I had gone to a meeting, and we'd met with a group I worked in at the time. I was working in graphic design and web design and services and that type of thing. And we'd met with a really great, customer or possible customer, and talked to them. And we really felt like it was going to be a good client for us. And ultimately we didn't end up getting it. And I remember, when I had a conversation with them, they said, well, we just didn't know about these few things, and we had some questions, and they were answered by this other team really well. And I just felt like if I had, you learn that lesson. So at any rate, so knowing that was one of the lessons that I learned early on in business, that you have to follow up with people, that you have to make sure you answer any questions that might be out, that they might not fall in your favor if you don't answer them properly. I thought, well, this is kind of a natural marriage, because I I know what some of my issues, or what some of my some of the unsuccessful things that I've done have been. And we seem to always be able to look at ourselves and see where we're going to be better, and FollowUp.cc is one of those things that can help you be better.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things that I get asked quite a lot is, well, what's your version of a successful mistake? And I suppose throughout this journey, one of my biggest ones was just the value of not only connecting with people, but then nurturing those connections. And I've
Absolutely.
realized how different my sort of workflow and my process of staying on top of relationships is today compared to 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. And it is that whole idea of following up, however you do, whether you use a tool like follow up, or whether you just do it writing down in your notebook, or you just have a really good memory. This idea of reaching out to people, not just once but throughout time, it's massive, because people,
Hmm.
well, time gets the better of you. You have all these good intentions to, like, oh yeah, I'm going to get back to them and I really want to involve them in something, but then, oh, they never got back to me, so I forgot about it, and it's like, oh, it's gone.
Yep. 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 That's always sad too, when it's gone and you realize, oh no.
It's like, what if? Well, I
Yeah.
suppose, speaking of what if, the whole book is an aid largely for the new entrepreneur of the world. And a lot of the good things about new entrepreneurs, they don't have to worry about the what if too much, because there's all them what will be's coming up. So, from your point of view, you obviously get an opportunity to work with various types of people. Not just entrepreneurs, people of always varying kinds of working life and conditions, and just in their personal world too. But specifically for entrepreneurs, especially those newbies, those busy ones who are still finding their feet, what are some of the features that you personally love, which you think can help this group of people the most?
Absolutely. Um, that's a good question. I think I do actually talk to a lot of new entrepreneurs, and it seems like, the more CEOs I talk to, the younger they seem to be. So, and that's great. I love that. They bring lots of wonderful energy, and they always have great ideas, and I love the energy that's in the space that I'm working in right now. But it's interesting, because some of the lessons that you learn when you're a CEO happen to be about relationships and how to take advantage of those relationships. So there's a kind of a buzzword now that everybody talks about, which is customer development. And I don't know if you've heard that buzzword as well, but
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting. When I started to learn about customer development and what it means, I thought, oh, well, we've been doing this forever. I mean, that's just what you kind of do when you start a new business. You understand what your customers and what the people around you are are doing, and you start to understand and explore that relationship. And after you get to a certain place in that relationship, you can really understand what their problems are and how you're going to solve them. And the stronger those relationships are, usually, the more business you'll see, and the stronger your business will grow. And so I think that when I talk to new entrepreneurs, I try to always tell them, hey, I know it's really fun to concentrate on the product, and it's really fun to concentrate on like how great your product is. But if you're not building those relationships between the people that are actually using your product and you and your business, then you're really, and that is now called customer development. But then you're really not going to, you know, you're going to find that you're going to have problems, and that they're going to be problems that you don't really know about until you're further along down the path, and it can be expensive, and it can obviously cost people um, a lot of business and a lot of money. So I always, try to tell them, have a tool for reaching out and making sure that you're staying in touch with those customers, and have a system for doing that. That you want to, if someone signs up and 10 people in their company sign up, you want to make sure that you're reaching out to those people, not just today to understand what their problem is, but in a week from now, and in 2 weeks from now, and in a month from now, because that's where you're going to really find out how your product is working, or if it is or isn't working, or if they're willing to pay for it, or if they're willing to not pay for it. All of those types of things happen in that setting. All of those answers come out. So that's kind of what I talk to when I talk to new entrepreneurs. That's the piece of the puzzle that I'm really familiar with, and that I can help them solve.
Yeah, and it must be great because you obviously don't just have your own personal experience with it, but you're building a tool which is all about trying to help people nurture these relationships. You say there it's customer development, but for the most part, it's just about being, a kind human being. Not just kind
Absolutely.
of reaching out to someone when you want something from them, but making sure that you're constantly touching base, asking them questions. Just being there and a part of their life. And I think if you have that kind of mindset as an entrepreneur and as a business, then you will only succeed. You will only find good things come. And for the most part, we need like little tools and little help, because we
Mm-hmm.
have plenty of people who we have to think about. And it's easy to lose track. I know that I lose track all the time. So we're just going to be wrapping up very shortly, but I'm hoping that you'll be able to just tell us a little bit more about what you have planned. We're currently shooting this in May, so we're coming up to the summer. I know that summer's always a very optimistic time for most businesses. The sun is going to be shining and such. So what can we
Sure.
expect from Follow Up in the summer months and beyond? Any cool new tools and features that we can get excited about? I'm more
Sure.
interested for myself because I'm just a good little user.
Sure, sure. We do. We have some really wonderful things. We've been really, we've really been focusing on our Chrome extension. So I don't know if you are a Gmail user, but it seems like a lot of our users are. And so we have been focused on that extension, and what our users can do there. And so there's some new features, including email snoozing, which you can do right now with the system, but it's going to be a little bit more intuitive in how to set those um, snooze reminders and help people to manage their workflow a little bit better. We also have some really great new tools for people that are using follow up as a sales tool. So that tends to be a lot of our users actually. And so we have some integration that's coming out with Salesforce and perhaps some other CRMs as well, so that you can make sure that follow-up data is easily uh, being entered also into a CRM for you. So yeah, we have some great things, and yeah, it's always, if people follow us on Twitter, they can always catch glimpses of the new features, and we do open up our beta user base on occasion to get new users to test out new features and that type of thing.
How exciting. And I certainly encourage everyone listening and watching to go out and check out FollowUp.cc. One of the great things about the way I've approached the book and its partners is I don't feel bad about sort of spreading the words. I'm not spreading the word because you guys are partners of the book. I actually approached you because I was a user in the first place. And I think that's a really important differentiation, because I am generally trying to get partnerships with people who own the tools that I use and have helped me grow as an entrepreneur. So I hope you will check it out. There's so many features, and you can do the free trial and everything. It is certainly worth your muster. But for the most part, Suzanne, I'm just really excited for everything ahead. We've only just scratched the surface what we're going to be doing with the Successful Mistake coming up to the launch and everything else. And I'm just very excited to be part of the follow-up journey too. So thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat, and I can't wait for all the new features. And if you've got any questions, Mr. or Mrs. Listener, be sure to either just ask me about follow-up. I've got a decent amount, or just head over to the website, ask Suzanne. As you have just learned, she knows and is constantly helping the entrepreneurs like myself in the world. So that's a cool thing to know too.
Thanks so much, Matthew.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Have a great rest of your day. And that's it from me and Suzanne. Cheers.